All right. Reggie Edwards, the Front Row Report. I am joined by the one and only, the man, Mike Shea from Alternative Press, AP Magazine. Mike, thanks for taking time today. It's an exciting time for you, man. We got the AP Awards on Monday.
Yeah, I know, and we were just at the office really late last night trying to get a bunch of final details straightened out, so we're dealing with that, and it's going to be an amazing time. It's an amazing time.
Yeah, pretty much everybody you could want is gonna be at the ceremony. We got performances, we got Fall Out Boy, Joe and Jet, Misfits, all kinds of people performing. Of course, Black Veil Bride's gonna be appearing, but the hosts, CM Punk, Mark from Blink-182, we got Slash getting a big award. It's the best way to kick off the AP Awards, the inaugural awards. How important was it for this first AP Awards to get this group of people to be appearing, especially the hosts?
It was very important because the bar had been raised on us before we even got out of the door. Because we've been around for next should be about 30 years, and this award show in the States, at least, has been long overdue. Everybody kind of felt it should have been done a number of years ago. It started to be done a couple of years ago, and there is the Kerrang Awards in the UK, but that's a different kind of beast. And and being that we're established, everybody kind of felt like, all right, well, this just can't be a little dinner party. This has to be like the Oscars or the Grammys. So we initially shot for doing the Grammys, but the talent started to snowball, and we started to get requests and availabilities from bigger and bigger artists. And so all of a sudden now it's turned into the Oscars. And, from the beginning we wanted a who's who of people to be there. We kind of felt like it wasn't really about the award show necessarily. It was more about our community all getting together for the first time all in the same spot and celebrating and patting a couple of us on the back and having all the fans there to kind of party with us, because most of our community only sees a little bit of each other maybe on Warped Tour in Los Angeles or New York, or we see a little bit of each other at South by Southwest, but we don't really see each other for very long, all in one spot for more than a few hours. So that was kind of the point to this, was to make it so that each year everybody could look forward to going to this and knowing that, hey, I'm going to see all of my friends at this show. And I just had another request at 2 o'clock in the morning last night from a band that's out on the All-Stars tour, and they want to drive up here now because they have a day off and go to it because everybody else they know is going to it. So we've kind of hit that point now where everybody, including musicians that are not even touring and are at home hanging out, want to come because all their friends are going to be here. So that makes me really happy. That makes me really happy.
Nice. It feels like it's even just in the first year is reaching the level that the Golden Gods Awards has gotten, where it's the event every year, and this one hasn't even happened yet, and it sounds like it's already getting to that level. And a lot of times ceremonies take a couple of years to reach iconic level and huge popularity, but it sounds like this one's happening pretty quickly already.
Yeah, usually they reach that level because the outside world starts to pay attention. But in our case, our community is already there. So that's why I kind of feel like it grew so fast, because everybody wanted this for so long that everybody wanted to get involved with it. As soon as we started telling some people in the industry that we were going to do it, within days, all of a sudden, All Time Low were on the bill. All of a sudden, Data Remember, we're there. Fall Out Boy, within a few weeks, we're like, yes, our schedule's open, let's do this. It was really a nice feeling to see all of these people want to become part of the show. And, you've got people like Brendan Urie and Panic at the Disco who are driving in from Iowa, an overnight drive to get here in order to be here. And that really says a lot to us. And I think that's awesome. I'm humbled. I'm completely humbled.
And And with this community, it's a lot of bands that you see on Warped Tour and South by Southwest, like you mentioned. But there's a lot of bands who aren't. They're going to be here. Korn, Joan Jett of the Blackhearts, Body Count with Ice-T, Slash. So it's really meshing multiple communities into one. At what point do bands like that come in for this? And was that an original plan?
Yeah, it was actually an original plan to have these iconic bands, classic bands in some cases, now classic, be a part of the show, because ever since AP was started, it was always about, there were always sections that were in the fanzine and in the magazine that were about educating new fans of music to old music. So that, because, you know, like, Billy Corgan's going to be there. Well, Fall Out Boy are heavily influenced by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Right.
So it's important that Fall Out Boy fans know about Billy Corgan. You know, you wouldn't have Hayley Williams unless you had Joan Jett. Right. And these sorts of things. You know, there's a lot of these metalcore bands and heavier rock bands, like Asking Alexander and stuff like that, that are heavily influenced and by Korn. And so it makes sense to kind of have this melting of these generational bands together, because then that way there's a lot of kids that would never probably spend the money and go see Joan Jett, right, because they're going to make a choice between Fall Out Boy or Joan Jett, or Paramore and Joan Jett, and they only have so much money. And now what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to have all of these fans who maybe have seen a Joan Jett video, or have seen sampled 30 seconds or 45 seconds on an iTunes album, actually be able to see her perform for the first time, and then be inspired and say, you know what, I want to go and see her next time she comes through. I want to go online and buy her records. You know, I'm going to go get her shirt, like things like that. And to us, that makes us feel great, because that's really the point of being a music journalist. It's like you're trying to educate people on other cool music. And
exactly.
just because you started in music in 1976 or 1996 doesn't mean you're irrelevant. And there's a lot of musicians that are no longer even touring or doing anything anymore, but whose bands from the 90s or 80s inspired so many bands of today. And it's important that people know about these artists, because they're all important. They're all changed our lives or influenced us in one way or another. So we've been really fortunate and blessed to get, especially, as you were saying, the first year, when nobody really knows what this is going to be like, to get this kind of high caliber of artists to commit and come out and take a chance with us and do this. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the crowds react to these people, because I'm absolutely convinced that for most of them, they've never seen these people perform live.
Right, they've only heard about them, but never been able to see them. It's going to be really cool. And then we got the Contemporary Youth Orchestra, which is going to be a really cool thing. They're going to be there as well, and that's going to be awesome. And then we got the host, Mark from Blink-182, fits very well. And then we got Sam Punk and Juliet Sims. And on the surface, a lot of people may not see where, you know, people like Sam Punk and Juliet fit with the AP Awards, but especially Sam Punk is huge into this community and metalcore and hardcore and punk. He fits very well. And what led to bringing Punk in and Juliet in to co-host the awards?
We actually have a couple of people on our staff that are huge wrestling fans, and they have been kicking this around from the beginning, and they kind of felt like we need him involved somehow, but they didn't know how. And so eventually they came around to talking about having him co-host the red carpet, because it would just be something so cool, and he's so made for it in a way.
Yeah.
And plus the fact that a lot of red carpets are kind of just BS, you know, and they're all kind of like, oh, look at you, giggle, giggle, move on. And whereas with CM Punk, it's going to be a very different experience. And so it's actually going to be something that fans are going to want to watch. And it's not just all about who's wearing the coolest or prettiest thing. So that's why we chose him. And he's actually going to be involved in the actual show in a couple of ways as well. So he's been very, very nice. He's a really cool dude, and he's very friendly and down to earth. And we've completely been so lucky that he's coming out for this. My team were right on the dot with this one. They knew what they were doing.
Awesome. And Juliet, at what point did she come into the mix, and how did she get involved with it?
I actually didn't think she was available because she's been recording, but she's been down in Nashville, and we heard through Kevin Lyman, he had dinner with her and Andy Dusak, who's her boyfriend, that she wanted to be involved somehow. And we went, no way, oh wow, this is perfect. And she's very personable, she's very good on camera, she knows how to talk to people, and we felt like that would be like a really interesting dichotomy between her and CM Punk together, and she can hold her own against him, so we're not worried about that. And but it's just, and plus she's big, like she's got a lot of fans, and again, she's another one that's totally down to earth, very cool, and I'm going to be too busy to actually be at the red carpet, probably. But I really am hoping I can at least get like a couple of minutes to kind of stand back a few feet and watch these two in action in person. So
it's going to be fun to watch. Anytime you give Punk a microphone, it's legendary. And then throw Juliet in there, like you said, is going to be just fun to watch.
I think it's going to be like one of those high school lab experiments when you're going to put the few drops in that liquid and you don't know what it's going to do. I think that's what we're looking at here.
Probably. Now, I've got to ask, man, you started AP at 19 in your bedroom. And
85, yeah.
Yeah. Now, like 30-some years down the road, it's exploded into this. AP is this mega, one of the most, well-respected publications in the world. What has it been like to really sit back and watch this happen? And how did this happen? Obviously, I'm sure you never could have imagined that in 2014 you would have the awards show and then the AP tour involved with Warped Tour and all that. I mean, it's got to be surreal.
Yeah, because in 1985 we were just a bunch of punk rock kids from a couple different subgenres. I was a goth kid, and I had friends that were skater kids, and others that were like Mohawk punks, and others that were like metalheads, and there were some new wavers, and so we were all just misfits that wanted to do this fanzine, and we didn't know a damn thing about business. All we knew is that we like to talk about music, and some of us like to write about it, some of us like to draw about it, and some of us like to promote about it. And so, and that's how it came together. And there's been times in the company's history where they've asked me, for whatever reason, for a bank or something, to write a business plan for 5 years, and it was always the most difficult thing to do because I never had that kind of vision to see 10 years out, because I was so used to, we've all been kind of used to, like, we're an independent company, we are small, we're like a family, and because we're not heavily financed, we're always at the mercy of whatever the economy's doing or whatever technology's doing or whatever, and so it was always difficult to kind of see past 2 years because we were always dealing with whatever we were dealing with at that point. And so to kind of, whether it was our 10th anniversary concert or our 20th anniversary concert or the AP tour or getting involved with Warped Tour and Ozfest and Lollapalooza or, whatever it was, or getting our magazine in as movie props, like, we never expected any of it because we never planned for any of that. We just always planned to, like, let's put out the next issue, let's put out the next issue, let's put out the next issue. And for better or worse, and I don't know if that is good, we're still here 30 years later. So I don't know. I sometimes wonder if we had done the business plan, if we would have been out of business by now. Maybe it was better. It's like that Octarian, or like the one that's like 105 years old, and they're like, what was your secret to staying alive this long? And they say, I just smoke a cigar every day. It's like, maybe that's like how it was for us. Like, we had no plan, but that's how we made it this far, because we didn't have a plan.
Right. So, right. Yeah, that's kind of how it is with me. Just take it 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, and we're doing it.
Octogenarian, I think it's the word octogenarian. I'm going to have to look it up. I don't think it's Octarian. I think that's like something that's out of a Transformer movie. Anyway. So.
Awesome. Mark, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. Looking forward to the awards show. Looking forward to the AP Awards. It's going to be fun. It's going to be it's a great first year. I don't know how you're going to top this next year, but you'll find out.
Yeah. I don't know how either. I'm not even thinking about it. All I want to do right now is get to Tuesday morning and everything be just right. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Man, good luck with everything on Monday. It's going to be fun. It's so good to see it finally happening.
Oh yeah, and keep an eye out on our all of our social media because we're going to be covering the show live from a multiple of different people running our social medias. So we're going to have Cody from Set It Up taking over our Vine account and posting. We're going to have some of our top photographers are going to be taking over our Instagram account and posting as the show is happening. It's going to be a lot. So even if you don't have Access TV, you can. And you're up in Canada, you could be following it via our social media, and it's going to be really crazy. There's so many surprises that the fans don't know about that I'm really excited to see these come off. So
awesome! Yeah. It's going to be fun, man. Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for giving me a call. It was fun to finally talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. Same here. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
See ya.